Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am going to do a destructible cube, or one that operates in a similar fashion to the blocks in Minecraft. So when you hit them, they break up into smaller blocks and then disappear. And it's incredibly easy to do. So first things first, starting off with a first person template. I'm going to go into first person, blueprints, and we're going to create a couple of things here. First thing, we're going to create blueprint class actor, which we're going to call dest cube. And then we're going to create another one, which we're going to call shrapnel. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. And then we're going to need an interface, like we usually do. So blueprint interface, and to stick to tradition, we're going to call it STD. I am assuming that you've seen some of the other videos and got some understanding of how some of this stuff works. There is a video on interfaces, I think, and there's plenty of people who've covered it. So we're going to need this to talk to the cube. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the cube. When it opens, which is done in the other monitor. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a cube. It can stay white for now. So there's nothing really that we have to do too much to this aside from implementing the interface. And we'll do the code for it shortly. Nodes anyway. So that now under shrapnel, we want to go in there and we want to add a cube. The only difference is this cube, we want to make it tiny. So we're going to go into scale and just 0.2, just for the sake of the example. Now we've got a much smaller cube. Now what we also want this cube to do is we want it to hit the ground, and we want it to jump around randomly wherever it ends up, and then it'll disappear. So what we're doing here is we're going simulate physics. Yes. And that should be enough on that front. We'll go into the event graph and on begin play. We just want to give it a lifetime, a lifespan. And we'll go with a grand total of 5 seconds. Actually, make it 10. Okay. So that should be it. That shouldn't be too much else we need to do for this. So what we're going to do now, plug in that. We're going to go into the STD interface we made, which stands for standard. It's just tradition. And we're going to we're going to name this function in here blow up. I can't think of anything else to call it. You'd probably use like interact or something something a bit more standardized with the rest of your project. But for this, we're just going to use blow up. It's just, what's in the name. Okay, and then we're going to go to destination cube or dest cube, destroyable cube, and we're going to implement this interface. So what we're going to do is we're going to take cube, which is our big main cube, and we're going to hide it. Actually, we could just destroy it. Just destroy component, and that'll do. Okay, so let's go and test this out really quickly. So we're going to go into the first person character blueprint, and under, we actually need a line trace for this as well. So under the tick event, which I don't normally support, but it'll do, I'll just edit one in. Poof, there it is. There's our line trace. We've done this so many times now. There's a video for it and the different things that it does. So we've got, what we've done is we've taken the result of the line trace and we're spitting it out into this variable, which is out hit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just use the left mouse input, left mouse button. So we've clicked on it. We should set up a proper input, but for the purposes of this, this will do. So left mouse button pressed, we want to do something. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out hit, which is that variable that the line trace is showing. So we've now if we're pointing at the cube, we want to check to see if it implements the interface. So does implement interface. We have to split it in order to get the actor. And we want to set it to std, which is the interface we use. And we're going to use branch. Okay, so what's going to happen here is you click the left mouse button. Sorry, the line trace is constantly, every single tick, it fires a line trace and it hits whatever object is, whatever object it does, and all the details for that object end up in here. From there, we're going to click on the left mouse button. We're going to check to see if the object that we're hitting does implement the interface. If it does, then we're going to execute the blow up. We used the wrong one. Blow up, message, and true. That's it. It's realistically all we need. We could put the destroy part in here, but let's put it in destination cube, in dest cube. So cube, event blow up. It destroys the component. So let's put a couple. By rights, we should be able to go up to it, click on it, and it'll destroy itself. So there you go. Nice and very simple. I'm going to move you because I don't need you. Don't like the gun. I mean, I like the gun, but I don't want it in every single situation. So, okay. What we're going to do now, we need to create the shrapnel, which is this object, which is smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the cube. We actually don't need to because we've already got the cube there. We're going to get world location. Do this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a for loop. Here we go, for loop. Took a bit to find that. I don't know why it doesn't just show up normally. Anyway, so first index, 0, second index, so we'll just create 10 objects. And then what we're going to do is spawn actor from class. We're going to go with our shrapnel. Now this transform is going to be the fun part. So what we want to do is we need to break that up. Do this there. Put that there. And this will give us the z-axis location of where it is, but we want to add it a bit and just bring it a little higher. So what we're going to do is we're going to add. I'm going to add, say, just for this object, we're going to add, say, 50. I'm going to plug that in there. Try to, under collision handling override, there's a few things we can try here. Try to adjust location, but always spawn. That one makes the most sense. So, gonna save, compile, just in case we crash it. And where'd they go? No. Attempt to access queue via property. That's right, because we've already destroyed it. Done that so many times. Destroy component. Put it under complete. When it's spawned all the cubes, it just goes and destroys that. So there we go, and they will and they'll all disappear inside of a short period of time, hopefully. There you go, they're gone. That's the shrapnel disappeared. As you saw with that, it just all shoot up in the air. There's a lot we can do with this. Make it a bit more random. So we can take the rotation. We can screw with that a little bit. So let's go with the random float. Why did I do that? Okay. Random float in range would be better. So maximum 1, maximum 1, maximum 1. No, actually, we want it 0 and 3, 60. 360, 360. And I'll just plug those into there just for the sake of randomness. Let's see what kind of a mess we make now. There, that's a little bit better. But, yeah. Okay. So, what can we do with this next? I wonder. We could make more. Just one thing I want to do before I go too far. One thing that's just really annoying me. Okay, so now we can have, so we're now going to spawn 25 of these things. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Stat FPS. So we're doing about 76 frames a second. Just makes nearly no difference. So yeah. Performance-wise, there's not usually too bad. I'll just create a few. Create a few just to make it a little bit of a mess, just to really bog down that the physics engines a little bit. So just add that in there. Although I don't think it's going to bog the physics engine down too much. It's pretty good. Okay. Let's try. Let's see what happens there. So it's pretty good. I mean, you wouldn't really do this in a game, but you know, not to this degree. Although you probably could. Makes for a nice effect. Okay, so just want to see what it's like when we do that. See if it has much of an effect at all. As you can see here on the this is this you can bring up through stat unit graph in the console. So we're doing pretty well. We've got frames being generated in 19 milliseconds. The game's running at 12 milliseconds. The draw time is at anywhere between 11 and 12, 16, whichever it is. Just fire up stat FPS. There we go. So we're at 50 frames a second. Okay, so one thing that's going to be noticed, the first thing that happens when you do this now, is that you go through and you try and walk on some of these cubes. You sort of get shot in different directions because you're colliding with them, and it's not very good, and it does that. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the physics for this, the shrapnel. So we want to ignore. We're going to go into the shrapnel thing and go to viewport. We're going to change the way this is the collision presets. Now currently it's on blockable dynamic, so it just everything reacts to it. What we can do though is we can change it to custom. And then what we can do is we can go to pawn right here and click ignore. Now it should just, there you go. Now we can make a nice big mess and walk through it like it's not even there, and it will clean itself up in about 5 seconds after being made. And there we go. A crude, simple, destructible cube that's you can have some fun with. Just for the sake of performance and for absolutely no reason at all. Let's just really, really amp this up to say 100. No, let's go higher. Let's go to 200 tiny little cubes. And let's make it worse. Let's just do it on that one first. This is gonna do a lot of cubes. So that's a nice, good little explosion. So let's see how that affects the performance. So we're running at 70 frames a second. And yeah, you can see a nice good little spike when it does that, because we are just spawning in, like, you know, quite a lot of objects, and there's a lot of physics going on there too, which also gives it that explosive thing. So let's just tone it down a bit. I mean, this is going to be dependent on the system too, but we had it at 25 before, so let's go to 50. Just let the renderer settle down a little bit. See, it's not as much of a... You can see a small spike. And you can get it to drop the FPS down a bit. But what you'll see is as the cubes will start despawning in a sec, you just get to watch the graph go down. You see it as I stop moving around, it settles again. So yeah, we can do other things too, like just for the giggle, let's make this 0.05. Let's make these really small. They're going to be tiny. Cute. Yeah. So that's cute there. What if we took it even further? Let's take that. Copy. Let's randomize the size between, say, 5 and 20. This will give us a whole heap of random looking, different sized cubes. Actually, hang on. No, we want... Oh, we almost got in trouble there. Because we want a valid range is 0.05. Almost got in trouble there. We've ended up with some ridiculous looking cubes. Okay. So we'll just plug all those into the spawn values. Okay, this will be interesting. Under shrapnel. We just want to change this to 1 since we're doing it like this. Because we're now going to be scaling the scale of it. So... Yeah, we're now getting random sizes. That's good. That works. I think we need to perhaps change it a little bit. 0.2, 0.2. 2 and open it to. There's a fair bit of scope there. Let's just try that again. So you've got different shapes and sizes. So that's pretty good. No real cost on the performance there. That's pretty good. Okay. Oh, yeah, that is the R-hit value going through the roof. It's a known bug with DirectX 12. So we'll just, destroy a few more cubes, really get it going. So we're sort of getting to that 100%. So let's tune this a little bit more. Let's go back to 25. 25 was a good value. What we're going to do, create a few more, because why not? Just see how much of a mess we can make. So we've made quite a considerable mess, and it didn't really have that much of an impact. Let's see, I mean, it got over the 100%, but that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. That was fun, and it certainly beats trying to I mean, there's a plugin that does this as well, but yeah, I mean, ideally you want to avoid using plugins if you don't have to, because you're then reliant on other people who have to maintain these plugins, especially as you go through different versions of the game engine, because not all the plugins stay up to date. So yeah, anyway, if you want to see more of this kind of thing, this is a little longer than normal, and there's a lot more experimenting, and see you in the next video.